Hey everyone, and welcome. And today we're going to look at the Fimbo ECOS TreeArrow. So over here we can see another amazing slide that the analysis team has given us at the club. But let's go a little bit more into detail. So over here we can see basically a dome which is hosting people inside of it which are going about their everyday life. We understand that this is a bomber, but how the Fimble ECO ECO basically religion or basically like a section of the faction goes along is they are a break off of the mud faction, and what they basically do is the Fimble ECOS TreeArrow takes a slice out of the pre-mundane Earth era domains and creates a portable living vessel welcoming to all of mankind. So all people who feel strayed or abandoned by the breakdown of humanity with having to leave Earth and everything like that, and have lost themselves to that Mother Earth nurturing factor, they can feel embraced and grounded on the ECOS TreeArrow. So what does ECOS stand for? ECOS stands for Earth Consciousness Ontological Society. And they basically are a breakaway of the Mud faction. They believe in like the healing of the planet, and as well as they believe in terraforming planets to be sustainable or a lookalike of Earth, and that is where they want to live at the end of the day, which is something awesome to think about. So they are basically the hippies of space. So if we go from here and we go a little bit to the description, we can see a little bit of the details. We know it's a type, it's a bomber. We can see it's a Fimble ECOS. Its model is TreeArrow. Its class is Commander, and then its rarity is Anomaly. So this is one of the very few ships that are an anomaly rarity, and just gives basically this perspective of how rare the ship really is. So now we can see the size, the length, the width, the height. It's absolutely an enormous ship, and we'll go more into detail with that shortly. So now the crew, this is very important. We have one commander, one captain, 8 co-pilots. For every pilot that we have 2 co-pilots that have to basically be on standby for this. We have 6 scanners, we have 4 engineers, 4 repair engineers, 6 rescuers, 1 tractor beam operator, and then 4 turret gunners and 2 hangar foremen. Now if we come to the modules, we can see we have 1 commander slide ammunition, 1 capital size fuel, 1 commander slide hangar, which is also very important to take note of. We'll look at something with that shortly. We have 1 commander size mess hall, 4 capital size mess halls, and then 2 commander size bomber bays or bomb bays. So as we go down over here, we can see the commander power supply. We have a warp drive, radar, shield engine generator, impulse engine, thrusters. Then we have 8 capital size weapon hardpoints, and then we have 12 large weapon hardpoints. We also have 2 capital size missile bays, 1 countermeasure bay, full hull reinforcement, and then 1 tractor beam. So now if we go over here, we can see a little bit more of each of like the floors that we can see here, but let's go a little bit more into detail with these first. So over here we can see a little bit more of a breakdown of each of the floors. So we have your first floor, which is the bottom, the second being the middle, and then the third being the top. So on the first floor we have these sections here, but let me go a little bit more into detail over here. So on the first floor we have what is the elevator, your bomb storages, and then your hangar bay as well. So over here we can see a grenadier in the hangar bay, basically being parked currently. And as I said earlier on, they are the space hippies, and you can see all the graffiti on the side of the grenadier, as well as all of this, basically like these decorations to make it feel more at home, basically at the end of the day. If we go up to the elevator, we can once again see all of like the curtains or the vinyl that is being hung from the ceilings, as well as this aesthetic with a wood kind of feel, which is really trying to embrace the person who's coming aboard to feel more at home, or well, home on Earth terms. So over here we can see the bomb storage, as well as we can see the corridor that leads to the bomb storage from the elevator room. So now the bomb storages, each of these containers in triangle are what are storing the bombs currently. We can see there's 2 to each side, and over here on the first floor we can see there's one of these bomb storages each side of the first floor. So this corridor would still lead out longer, basically, in a sense, as we go through, as that you would go through that entire corridor. So if we go over here, we can see what the second floor looks like. We can see the main hall, which is over here on the indicator of the ship. We can also see over here a little bit more on each of like the sections. We can see the bridge, the corridor, another elevator, the barracks, your mid hall, your showers and toilets. That's pretty cool. They were actually indicating that already for us. Another elevator, as well as the mid hall that leads down corridors to your lounges, which are on each side as well. And there's 3 lounges in total. We have a main lounge as well as 2 brigs on each of the sections of what seems to be the thrusters, or the main thrusters. So what we can see over here is we can see the main hall, and just as I said beforehand, like they're hanging up the vinyl and the whole aesthetic, making it more feel like Earth aesthetic, basically. Now we have the bridge as well, and just imagine flying through space like this, and you're being able to see everything with all of these Earth feel aesthetics, and planning what planet you're going to terraform next. So if we go from here and we go to, let's go actually up here first, and we go to here, we can actually see a little bit of a closer zoom in of the biome itself. We can see people walking around in the biome, as well as like how they've made it in such a way that you have the water aesthetic, you have the trees, you have a couple of maybe say entertainment sections on inside of the biome, and people just going about their everyday life as if this entire biome is part of Earth, and that's the feel that ECOS wants to go for. If we go up here, we can see just the front, the side, the back, so of the TreeArrow, and then the top overview as well. So as seen before, we have one bridge here in the front, another bridge here on this side, and then another bridge on the opposite side as well, aligning with all of the thrusters on each section as well. So if we go from here and we go to here, we can see just the size comparison of the TreeArrow compared to all of the other bomber class ECOS or Fimble line. So over here we can see the Grenadier, and in comparison towards the size that is being portrayed over here is 100% accurate. So we can see just how dwarfed the Grenadier is compared to the TreeArrow. We can see the Bomber as well over here being the size that it is, being half the length of the TreeArrow, which is 100% accurate. And just taking it into perspective as to how actually large the Bomber and the TreeArrow really are compared to the Grenadier. So if we go down here, we can actually see the interior inside of the domain. If you were basically sitting inside of this aesthetic or inside of this domain and looking outside, whether it's you traveling past planets, or whether it's you actually being in the atmosphere of a planet, just looking at the outside of this entire thing must be absolutely magical and the most majestic thing to have ever seen in your life. Now as we go across to these images, it's still within the biome as well, and basically the same kind of feel. We see from space, we can see the planet itself and everything, and people going about their everyday life. And then from here we can see what is to be that you are in the atmosphere of a planet that you may have already terraformed. But there's so much more for us to uncover with the TreeArrow, and more will be brought in time as well. What we've given you right now is everything that we know, but there's so much more for us to uncover. So if this was helpful to you, please do like and subscribe. And if you do have any questions, do join the club Discord and come and ask. You can at me at any stage or anything like that, and you're more than willing to ask, and I'm more than willing to answer you anytime. But that's all from me for now, and I'll see you in the next one.